You're watching the first Newshour Debate on Times Now Super Prime Time.
On debate number 1 tonight, we have with us Chandan Mitra and Swapan Dasgupta, Editor-in-Chief of the Pioneer, Member of Parliament and Senior Journalist and Columnist. Respectively, we have with us Bachi Karkaria, Senior Journalist with us in the studio. The Editorial Chairman of the Outlook Group has worked for a very long time with Tarun Tejpal. Vinod Mehta is making his first appearance on the Newshour Debate tonight. We have Abha Singh, advocate and social activist, supporting Tarun Tejpal since yesterday evening is Sanjoy Roy, organizer of the Jaipur Literature Festival. He's joining us from our studios in Lucknow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much in this case. I want to start with you, Swapan Dasgupta. The broader questions that have been raised today say that it's not just about the act of the rape, but the cover-up that has followed, almost trying to indicate that the people there did not know that this was an act of rape. They tried to brush this aside as a molestation, as a misdemeanor, as an untoward incident. Does that also need to be explained 4 days after this controversy came to light?
Well, Arnab, I think what is the hallmark of this entire issue is that above everything, there was a complete arrogant misuse of authority at every level. Of course, the whole desire of a person to thrust himself on a junior colleague was based on using rank. Secondly, the attempt to make sure that this remained an internal issue on the grounds that, we are powerful and we can manage things, we are part of the media, and therefore some special dispensation holds to us was there. And now I think what we are seeing is a good criminal lawyer's mind working, which is why you've seen a shifting of positions. You've seen, on one hand, the appointment, a belated appointment of a complaints authority within Tehelka, but alongside with it, you have Shoma Chaudhary actually demonstrating divided loyalties and suggesting that there are two sides of the pictures. What it suggests, and Tarun Tejpal going and saying, yes, I welcome this probe and I want this CCTV footage to be shown. In other words, what is being done is a veiled threat to the victim that, look, we can take this case very, very, very much further. And we can really drag it into a world of murkiness. And that implicit threat, using the judicial system to do, God knows what, to delay the whole thing, to use it to actually cast aspersions on someone's character. I'm not suggesting that that's been done as yet. But the veiled threat is very much there. So I think somewhere along the line, we are seeing a person saying, "Jante nahi main kaun hu."
Yeah, exactly.
The famous words of Delhi society. That's what it is.
Well, that's what it is. Let's get Sanjoy Roy in from Singapore. Till yesterday, there was all this talk of, oh, we are so devastated that something like this could happen. Our thoughts are with the victim. Our thoughts are with the girl. You must let us attend to the girl. That's why we don't want the media to ask questions. Now, look here, Sanjay, what happens? You realize that the case is becoming bigger. The lurid details are out in the open. It is a case of attempted rape under Section 375. And a criminal investigation cannot be pushed back. Sanctimoniousness, self-righteousness has flopped. So what do? You suddenly say, I'm going to now change my position. I'm going to stand in the middle. And if I had sympathies for the girl till yesterday, I will now say that I can't take anything at face value. I have to listen to Tarun Tejpal as well. And, throw this whole theory up. Was it consensual or non-consensual? What kind of a U-turn is that, Sanjoy Roy?
Arnab, I don't see this to be a U-turn. I think this was Tarun's internal position right from the beginning. They, at no point of time, at least the impression that I have and the conversation
which was rubbished by Shoma Chaudhary
since Monday.
An internal position which was rubbished by Shoma Chaudhary till yesterday. And now suddenly she stands in the middle.
Arnab, you're asking me a question. Let me just answer it.
No, but I must correct the impression that you're giving out, Sanjay. You are giving the wrong impression that that was the position. That position of Tarun Tejpal was demolished by Shoma Chaudhary till yesterday. Today she takes it at face value. If she had not demolished it, why would she have said that this man needs to go for 6 months? You understand?
Arnab, again, I'm not here, I mean, I'm assuming that you haven't called me here to defend Shoma Chaudhary or X or Y. I'm here really because you know, I saw you very vociferously defending Tarun Tejpal and Shoma Chaudhary, the handling of the case on some other channel yesterday, and I hope you're not doing a U-turn tonight. And I continue to do so, and let it be quite clear that at no point of time have I condoned what has happened. At no point of time have I taken a position that this needs to be looked in any other way. Today, as you all have said, that the FIR has been filed. Let the law take its own case. Where I do have an objection is the fact that everybody has already decided that there is an incident that amounts to rape. He is the rapist. And I think casting aspersions
in your view, one second, before you try that tack.
That's not fair. I think there is a position
No, please, let's be clear. You see, I think journalists are not uneducated people. A basic understanding of the law is expected from everyone, including Shoma Chaudhary and Tarun Tejpal. You cannot start giving these lectures that the media is being presumptuous. This is not a criminal case. You know the details of the case. You need to read Article 375, and you know the circumstances under which a man is said to commit rape. Sanjoy Roy, I hope you are not trying to say here that Shoma Chaudhary and Tarun Tejpal did not know the law. There are only two possibilities. Vinod Mehta, let me get you in. There are two possibilities. Either they did not know the law, or that they knew the law but chose to disregard it.
Arnab, Tarun was my deputy for 6-7 years, and let me say, I am very fond of him. Can I just read out an SMS? I've been in touch with Tarun today, and can I just read out an SMS he sent me today? Please bear with me. I think it's worth reading. Here it is. Vinod, as an old colleague and friend, I want you to know the truth. Out of an attempt to preserve the girl's dignity and Shoma's adamantine feminist principle insistence that I keep the correct form by apologizing, I did so. The truth is, it was an incredibly fleeting, totally consensual encounter of less than a minute on a lift of a 2-story building.
1 minute. Vinod Mehta. Vinod Mehta. You want one here. No, watch. I got the drift of what you're saying, but I'll hold you there. No, I hold you there. I'd hold you there because, Vinod Mehta, with respect to you, if someone is there as an accused of alleged rape, and if that's a message which you are sending out is going to amount to character assassination of the victim, with utmost respect to you, Vinod Mehta, I'm not going to allow it. And I think that is a basic question here today. Now you understand this, Mr.
Arnab, I don't think you're the judge or the jury to allow something or disallow something.
Mr. Sanjoy Roy, I do not need your permission. I do not need your permission to decide what is appropriate or not appropriate to put out, because it may not be. It may not be.
There is a decorum of respect.
Come on, Mr. Chaudhary, don't lecture me.
Otherwise, there's no reason for us to be here.
Mr. Roy,
I mean, there's no reason for us to be here. I'm really sorry.
Mr. Roy,
but if there is,
Mr. Roy,
we're all here for
I give you a. Here's one thing, Mr. Roy. You know, double standards and hypocrisy is something that I don't accept. Now, till yesterday, there were all of...
Neither
one second, Mr. Sanjoy Roy. Mr. Roy, 1 second. So if I'm talking... 1 second, Mr. Roy. Please understand this. Yes, you can have your cup of coffee there. The question is simple. No, 1 second. The question is this. Till yesterday, why am I stopping Vinod Mehta? Because till yesterday, I thought that everyone at Tehelka and those supporting them, including you, Sanjoy Roy, kept saying, oh, we must... protect the privacy, and we must appreciate that this victim cannot be maligned, cannot be character assassinated.
But
one of the reasons, let me complete, we don't want to do, one of the reasons we don't want details to do that, we don't want these details, lurid details to come out, is because it will affect the victim. Today, you seem to be heartily cheering on Vinod Mehta's attempt to read out Tarun Tejpal's tweet on national television. That's a change in position. Bachi, I'd like Bachi to come in. Vinod Mehta, 1 minute. Bachi. Bachi, 1 second, Vinod Mehta. Bachi wants to say something here. 1 second. Bachi, please.
Can I just finish?
Let Bachi come in, Vinod Mehta, after that.
Vinod, just a moment. I'm sure Arnab will allow you to finish. But while I may completely agree with Tarun's latest statement where he says that he wants the police to obtain, examine and release the CCTV footage, that is his right as the accused in this case. But I will not buy the argument that Tarun Tejpal is so noble that he is going to expose himself to a charge of rape. Surely he knows the consequences of that, merely to be very kind to his junior colleague, which is what the tweet that Vinod has begun to read out very clearly says. I mean, he says, well, in the interest of the girl, I'm going to stand up and say all this. I mean, I'm sure Tarun is an honourable man, but this is surely. I mean,
Vinod Mehta, the straight rebut to what you have said is this, and let's get Chandan Mitra and Abha Singh also, and then I'll come back to you. Let's do a first round. The point is, 1 minute. Today, what Tarun Tejpal is saying is, I resigned, but I did not accept my guilt. I am not guilty. I just resigned resigned as a damage control act. Swapan Dasgupta wants to come in. The fact is, he has resigned, and Shoma Chaudhary and Tarun Tejpal said, no, that means the girl's version carries serious weight.
Arnab, I just want to speak one line, one sentence I want to speak. That's all.
Go ahead. But don't read from that SMS.
My sentence is the following. No, I'm not reading from that.
Thank you.
I do not endorse what Mr. Tarun Tejpal told me. The SMS he sent me. But I just thought that since it's all out in the public domain, that I should read this.
Why don't you understand, Mr. Mehta? No, I understand what you're saying, but why don't you understand, Mr. Mehta? No, Mr. Mehta, why don't you understand this whole other version which is now coming out is a version which Tarun Tejpal and which Shoma Chaudhary had overridden and overruled.
I don't endorse that version.
No, till yesterday you overrule it. 1 minute, till yesterday you overrule it. And today that you realize Goa Police Center, everybody is coming after you. But today suddenly you spring it up and you say, I'm going to stand in the middle. Now I'm going to stop you from reading that SMS therefore. We understand why, Mr. Mehta. Don't take it otherwise. I want Abha Singh to come in at this stage and then I'm coming to Chandan Mitra. Abha Singh.
No. Arnab, I agree with you absolutely. Tejpal, if he has to say something, it should be in the police station. Why is he not going and surrendering before the Goa police? And Shoma Chaudhary has violated, she herself is an accomplice under 201 of the IPC, which clearly says that she has been trying to help the offender by giving him sufficient time. Who is Shoma Chaudhary to decide that she will ask for apology? She has violated the guidelines of Vishakha guidelines. It is a contempt of Supreme Court. The Vishakha guidelines clearly say that if there is an offence of sexual offence or assault, she has to immediately inform the police authorities. The appropriate authorities are the right people to take action. Number one, she has violated the Vishakha guidelines, which is a contempt of the Supreme Court, and she has also violated the IPC guidelines, and she becomes an offender, and it is 3 years of imprisonment for destroying evidence and also giving him time trying to screen the offender. Or thirdly, she has said these are tough times and you stand by Tehelka, stand by the institution. So she is trying to tell all the witnesses that keep away. So Shoma Chaudhary should also be made an accomplice in this along with Tejpal.
No, one second. I'm going to get the point to remember here is that under these Vishakha guidelines, they stipulate that the onus, Chandan Mitra, let's come to you, that the onus is on the employer to initiate the lodging of a complaint once you receive a complaint from a victim of sexual harassment. In this case, the charges are even more serious. It's not just sexual harassment. Yet, despite getting to know the nature of the assault, nobody filed a complaint. They try to hush it up.
You see, this is, in my opinion, Arnab, an absolutely indefensible position that the Tehelka management has taken. It cannot be, from no point of view can it be defended. A crime has been committed or attempted to have been committed. There is a clear case under the new law it is, if I am not mistaken, a non-bailable offence. Now, whatever statement or all these lachrymose messages he's sending out, I have also got his renewed apology letter to the victim and Vinod Mehta's attempt to read out a tearjerker. You know, these are going on through the day.
No,
a huge damage limitation exercise has been mounted. But this cannot be at any way. No journalist, no citizen of India, no thinking man can defend this. A crime has been committed, case must be lodged, prosecution begin, and whatever punishment the court decides must be meted out. There is no escape from that.
No, Vinod Mehta wanted to respond to your description to his attempt to read out the SMS.
I'm not defending it, please. Again, I must say, I mean, the last thing I would want to do is defend. I'm not defending it. I am saying that Tarun must
face. How are you getting?
Whatever
how are you reading
the law says.
A rape accused person's statement? How are you reading on the channel? How are you reading and rape accused person's SMS on the channel?
Because this is
trying to defend him.
I'm saying that this is the. I'm saying.
Why has he not gone to Delhi police or Goa police? Why is he hiding behind? He is an accused.
Please don't shout. Please don't shout. Please don't. Please have some manners. Don't shout. Don't shout at me.
Your stature is trying. No, it is shocking that a person of your stature is getting out a person who's accused of rape, and you're trying to give his statement, his SMS to the public. What message is it going that the media is trying to support?
And why has this sprung up now? My question is no. Why has this other version sprung up now?
And all people sitting on high moral ground all these years and preaching to the whole world.
May I just say?
And they are now trying to say, no, this was consensual.
May I just?
There is, the girl was as guilty. What is this? Really, I'm ashamed. A member of our community.
Swapan Dasgupta.
Has been accused of this.
Swapan Dasgupta, yes.
Yeah, Arnab, I just want to know, which Tarun Tejpal are we to believe? The one who says this was a drunken banter, this was a horrible misjudgment, or that this was a consensual act for which he took the burden of blame, very much like Jesus Christ took the burden of blame for others? I mean, which one are we to believe? I mean, if a person shifts his position 3 times in a very short time period, what are we to make of it? That there are ad hoc damage limitation exercises being mounted at every point, and the message, a very sinister message going out to the victim, that either you play ball with us, otherwise, boy, just watch how we take it to the courts.
Yeah, exactly. Either Sanjoy Roy will respond to that. Sanjoy Roy to Swapan Dasgupta. Either you play ball with us and we express sympathy for you and we do some symbolic act of moving away on a sabbatical for 6 months. But if you take us on, we will bring out the other version and put you into disrepute. I just want to hear Sanjoy's defense of what Swapan Dasgupta said, if he has any. One second. Let's hear Sanjoy Roy's defense. I come back to you, Chandan.
Okay.
Swapan, that's not quite fair. You know, at the end of the day, I think all of us forget that there are people involved at the end of this. There's a person who something has happened with. There are 2 incidents. There are people involved. You know, different perceptions are always presented differently. Whether Tarun, and again I want to say that at no point of time, according to me, did Tarun try to cover up this entire situation. He accepted Shoma's request that he should resign and remove himself from the situation so that, hear me out, so that they could continue the inquiry. Whether it was right or wrong to do, let the law decide.
But the law has been avoided.
Covered up.
Sanjoy Roy, what you forget
somebody
there.
Who's saying
Mr.
that
Roy.
This is what the situation is.
Mr. Roy, a simple thing which I would like to bring to your attention is that Shoma Chaudhary and Tarun Tejpal and the Tehelka management are guilty of not bringing this to the attention of the law. You are today saying let the law take its course.
So throw the book at them. So throw the book at them, Arnab, but let the law
precisely.
take its course.
No, one second.
On this panel already deciding. Members of your panel have already said that he is not only accused, but he is already been convicted, and the law, and he should go.
Absolutely not. I think you're.
We are not the jury. We are not the judges.
I think you're.
There is a process of law. Let the process of law take its course.
You know, please. There was complete disregard for the process of the law because the Vishaka guidelines make it clear that harassment, that if the harassment falls within the purview of a certain section of the Indian Penal Code, then the onus is on the employer to initiate action and lodge the complaint. They did not go to the police. They were trying to settle it internally. They were violating the law by doing so.
Arnab, if there were omissions, as you have pointed out, let that take its own course.
No, not omissions.
You said that there are no omissions.
What do you think that if this matter had not come into the public domain, if this matter had not come to the public domain, would there have been any action even in the formation of a committee? Show me one bit of action that they took in the formation of a committee before it came out in the media.
50% yes. The day that this letter came to the knowledge of Shoma, I know because I was traveling out. It was Tuesday morning. I was told that Tarun has sent a letter out resigning from the post. Why would anybody want to resign from a post and issue a letter to all his editors taking absolute
because you don't want
what happened if there was going to be a cover-up?
Because you think you'll settle the matter there.
I think it's absolutely
because you think you'll settle the matter there. Bachi is responding to you. Bachi, please.
Because
come on, we can sit here at the studio and talk till the
Mr. Sanjoy Roy
and say this and that.
Mr. Sanjoy Roy, Mr. Roy, you think you want to tell people that the managing editor and the editor-in-chief of Tehelka don't know the law. You want us to believe it?
I mean, frankly, I suspect so.
You suspect they don't know the law.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, fine.
I don't think half the companies in this country
Chandan Mitra, Sanjoy Roy says they don't know the law. If they've made a mistake, it's because they don't know the law.
I said perhaps. Perhaps they don't know the law.
Chandan Mitra, one sec. I'll come back to Chandan Mitra.
Mr. Sanjoy Roy may not be aware of the several judgments of the Supreme Court in which has been made clear that ignorance of the law is no ground for defense. That you are not supposed not to know the law, and people in such high prominent positions who are constantly, carrying out stings, alluring people into doing things that they would not normally do, and getting them on camera and totally bloated up. That we have embarrassed governments, we have embarrassed people. They don't know the law. I mean, we are a bunch of fools, bunch of idiots sitting here, and they don't know the law. They have been under so many litigations. They haven't heard of the Vishaka guidelines. They don't know the law. What is that?
And avoid the law. And one sec. I want to also add. Avoid the law. Avoid the law. They do not even.
Therefore, what was suggested that Shoma Chaudhary is complicit in this entire cover-up conspiracy is entirely correct. And then the argument that you see basically there is a threatening undertone. And today what has happened is that an attempt is being made to array a certain number of people, the bigwigs, like Mr. Vinod Mehta, to come into Tarun's defense and then basically tell the victim and her friends that look, we are powerful people. We have high people, very unfair. So you better. No, sorry, Vinod, you have fallen in my esteem very badly today. I must tell you in public. I've always regarded
I think you have misunderstood me completely.
Is simply unacceptable.
I am simply.
Yes, Mr. Mehta.
What can I say, Tarun? I mean, what can I say, Arnab? I mean, I am being attacked left, right, and centre. I am agreeing with you that he should face the full force of the law. I am saying that whatever he has done, the law should take its own course. Prove the guilt, but he will have his say.
Of course. This is the television debates, thank God, are not juries and judges.
Mr.
Yes, let him go. Yes, let the law take its course.
Yeah, but Sanjoy Roy, one second. Tehelka did not go to the law. Tehelka did not follow the law. Tehelka avoided the law, and today you take that fig leaf of an argument that you go behind the law. Mr. Sanjoy Roy, you're in Singapore. Are you aware that the Tehelka has not yet responded to the Goa Police's request to send them the victim statement? The Goa Director General of Police said the Goa Police requested Shoma Chaudhary yesterday to share the information she had received regarding the girl's complaint. I think you have to be thoroughly arrogant. You have to be thoroughly arrogant to say that we will not cooperate unless the girl files a complaint. We won't even cooperate if there is an appropriate FIR filed in this case. So, you know, and by the way, Sanjoy Roy, you think anyone...
I think you're misrepresenting the statement. Arnab, you're misrepresenting
well, you know...
Again, I don't know everything. I'm sitting far
you
away.
should know.
I think you're misrepresenting
you should speak to the
statement.
Goa Director General of Police and you should ask him when they wrote to the Tehelka management and what they respond. My question is this, that today, one charge is made, there is an attempt, Bachi, to sow the seeds of doubt about what exactly happened. Now,
Yes,
is that,
right.
to sow the seeds of doubt and indicate that it may have been consensual. This, Bachi, after taking a high moral ground and saying we are so upset at Tehelka, we'll not allow something like this to happen, that he's recused himself, remember, not resigned. Do you think that attempt to sow the seeds of doubt will backfire?
You know, it's actually absolutely clear. The first mistake that Tarun made was to write that lacrimonious letter and talk about penance and lacerate and stuff like that. And rather than coming straight up front and said, yes, I've committed what is an offence, this is what it is, here's my apology, and yes, Shoma had to take the case to the police as she was bound to do under the Vishaka guidelines. Now, having made that first mistake, now it's actually compounding the whole issue, and by saying that, no, now there is another version. If there was another version, tell me, Arnab,
why
would an intelligent man like Tarun Tejpal open all his flanks to attack by, first of all, virtually admitting that, yes, a terrible, terrible crime, though he would rather call it an indiscretion, has been committed.
Untoward incident were his ridiculous
I think, you know, both Chandan and you have gone after Vinod quite unfairly. Because, and I really want to
I have not gone after Vinod Mehta. I have merely stopped Mr. Vinod Mehta, who I have repeated I have the utmost regard from reading an SMS, because I believe that I have a disagreement over the reading of the SMS. I have not been unfair to Mr. Mehta.
And secondly, I think Mr. Sanjoy Roy should not defend Shoma and Tarun, because I think he's making a terrible defense lawyer. He is putting words, he is into their mouth, which are going to be criminally damaging. He's trying to say that they did not know the law. How can an editor of any newspaper, let alone such a hard-hitting newspaper, ever feign ignorance of the law in this case?
Well, you know, the simple...
I mean, and here the whole question really... No, Arnab, I think here the whole problem is not only in the case of Tarun, but in the case of a lot of powerful people who have this sense of entitlement. You know, whether they are chief ministers, or whether they are politicians of another stripe, or whether they are editors, or whether they are people as in emphasis. Because they are in a position of power, they think that they can get away with rape, which I think is as bad as murder.
Why did Tarun... Two questions really need to be answered, and Sanjoy Roy will answer it after I come out of the break. I have one...
May I just add one more point to what Bachi has
Swapan
said?
Dasgupta,
Or no, may I just add a point?
I have one point to make.
I do not believe that the ignorance of the law was the case. I'm almost virtually convinced.
Arnab, can I just make a point?
After a complaint like that, a lawyer was consulted.
Arnab, can I make a point?
It was an attempt deliberately to skirt the law by having an out-of-court, privately negotiated.
Arnab, can I make a point?
And it was only the publicity, the
Arnab, can I just make a point?
of the emails which they destroyed that.
No. Why did Tarun Tejpal resign if it was consensual? And no, one second. If it was consensual, why did Tarun Tejpal resign? And why did Shoma Chaudhary overrule an innocent man? Yes, Vinod Mehta.
Arnab, can I make a point?
Yes, Mr. Mehta.
Arnab, can I make a point? I am saying you hang Tarun Tejpal. I am not saying. But in the media, we must also be honest that for years it's been going on. That editors, I mean, they are still flourishing in the business today, who hit upon junior interns, who hit upon trainees. I mean, the worst kept secret in our profession is the kind of immoral things that senior journalists do, and I hope that the Tarun Tejpal affair will bring out the state of rot in our profession in terms of morality.
Right, but now let us return to the very specifics of this case. Now we are talking about several flip-flops over the last few days and the different loopholes in their arguments. Smriti Irani joins the debate. Good evening, Smriti Irani, and Ranjana Kumari as well. Smriti Irani, Sanjoy Roy, who's joining us from Singapore, makes the argument that in his view, perhaps Tarun Tejpal and Shoma Chaudhary did not know about the law. So he's making the argument of the ignorance of the law as a defense to why they did not approach the law in the first place. I want you to respond to it.
I think there are two things that have transpired across various media outlets in the past 2-3 days with regards to this case. Firstly, I would like to thank you for stopping Mr. Vinod Mehta from reading out an SMS which would have constituted literally assassination of the character of the victim. But I think that what is equally important is to see that in that reading of whatever little has been read of that SMS, there is an admission of an incident which took place. Similarly, in the first email written, where Mr. Tejpal speaks about atonement and laceration, there is again yet another admission of guilt, because of which he recuses himself. And I feel that when there is an admission by the assaulter himself, then to say that people should be given a benefit of the doubt, for me as a woman, is extremely shocking. To say that two senior journalists in our country are absolutely unaware of the law and only are compelled to follow the law. In fact, Ms. Chaudhary goes to the extent of asking journalists whether you are the aggrieved party. In fact, Ms. Chaudhary today amends her statement and says that since I've heard from a news channel that the girl is not satisfied, hence I shall constitute an internal complaints committee, basically reflects the complete hypocrisy and the farce which has been indulged in by the Tehelka team.
Well, perhaps, why would we not believe here that Sanjoy Roy, upset at the sanctimonious tone of the emails sent out by Shoma Chaudhary and Tarun Tejpal.
Unfortunately, Arnab.
Yes. Okay, Smriti.
This particular case is now playing out just like any other sexual assault or rape case, where the victim now has been put up in public domain and is being accused, her character assassinated.
Yes.
And as a woman, I'm extremely offended by it. I think tonight, every female journalist who's watching, especially the young interns, the young working women in the fourth estate, are wondering that if a man in a position of power in their organization assaults them, should they come out and speak? Given that there are men tonight on your channel who seek to defend somebody who has publicly admitted to the assault.
Right.
And all those who want to give this particular assaulter the benefit of the doubt, let me ask any Indian man who's watching Times Now tonight, if an honest Indian man is accused of such a heinous crime, would that man himself recuse himself from a position, or would he be outraged enough to come out day one and deny the incident? So that is a question that needs to be asked. These are the concerns that need to be addressed.
Well, from the...
And as a woman, I think what is equally painful is that the stand taken by Ms. Shoma Chaudhary gives out a message at large that if a lady in a position of helping the victim happens to be a part of the boys' club, then she will also misuse that position of power, and she will not assist the victim in pursuit of justice.
Well, okay, Sanjoy Roy, I'll give you a right to respond, but Ranjana Kumari also raised her hand. She wants to add to that. Yes, Ranjana Kumari, and then we'll get Sanjoy Roy, who's been stridently supporting Tarun Tejpal and Shoma Chaudhary since yesterday, to respond to both of you. Ranjana Kumari.
Well, Sanjoy Roy, Shoma Chaudhary and the likes, all their indefensible defense is not going to work, Arnab, because it's after having read the letter, the email, if Shoma did not think it is clear-cut case of rape and it needed Tehelka to go and file an FIR, I'm sorry, if you've read it, we all have very carefully. Unfortunately, it was sent to everybody and we read it. It is a clear case of rape, and I think that's what Goa police has seen and have understood, and that is why. So now there is no question of any kind of apology and pardon. There is no question, because now it is state versus the person who has been assaulted. It is sexual assault. Even the role of the sexual harassment committee, Arnab, is not going to be of any use anymore, because this is not sexual harassment. This is case of rape. And because, you know, the new definition has, and as I'm sure Indira Jaisingh on your program yesterday was telling that this is definitely a case of rape, and in that sense you cannot. And thirdly, let me just tell you that cover up is not going to help, because now Tehelka will be held responsible to be, and also Shoma. I'm really surprised, pained, and that is why yesterday you were mentioning all of us. I wanted to hear from all these men, powerful men, editors of the newspaper. It is now lensed towards your own side. It is one of your own, and I wanted to hear your channel speak about that. I'm extremely impressed and happy that at least you came out.
Well, you know, Ranjana Kumari,
and really you said spade is a spade. So I'm very happy about that, Arnab. When I didn't come yesterday, precisely I want to hear all of you speak about that.
Well, you know,
I didn't want a women's panel to say, oh, we are very sorry, this woman has been assaulted.
You see, Ranjana Kumari, let me say this to you very clearly, that the victim is also one of us. You need to understand. I think we've been quite unambiguous from the very beginning. And what I want to know is what you know, the response from Sanjoy Roy is to the points very aggressively raised by both you and Smriti Irani. Because if this was consensual, or if there is a hint, you know, some kind of a hint being dropped that it was consensual, then why is it being done now? Why was it not mentioned?
Not consensual.
Why was it not mentioned in the first email of Shoma Chaudhary? Why was it not mentioned in the first email of Shoma Chaudhary or Tarun Tejpal that it was consensual? Sanjoy Roy.
Arnab,
it's totally misleading the people, misleading the legal agencies, misleading the police.
Okay, 1 second, please. Sanjoy Roy wanted to respond. Yes, please. Sanjoy Roy.
Arnab, I can only share with you what I know, which is from many thousands of kilometers. I've known from Tuesday, I think, that the intent that both Shoma and Tarun... Can I finish? I mean, you know, if you're having a debate, can I speak? Otherwise, I'm happy to leave the studio. I don't need to be here.
Okay.
The intent of Shoma and Tarun has been to do the right thing. They may have erred, I don't know. All we are saying is, at the end of the day, in any incident, and all of you know this, there's always 2 points of view. There's an FIR that's been filed, there's a case that's in place. Let the investigation happen. Let whoever is to be docked in this thing include, and specifically Tarun in this case, if he is responsible, if he is guilty, let the law take its case. For us to sit here and have conjecture.
But they were dodging the law. You haven't answered that question. They were dodging the law. One sec. So Smriti Irani is Smriti Irani raises a hand.
Can I just finish?
But she wants to rebut you right there, Sanjoy. Smriti Irani to Sanjoy Roy.
Mr. Roy, with all due respect to you, first, I don't think you're doing a favor to anybody on this panel with asking Arnab whether you'll want to leave or not. But very, very respectfully, let me say, this sickeningly sounds like one of those cases where the assaulter says, well, the girl asked for it or the girl wanted it. So since you are now demanding that a law enforcing agency look into the matter, my question to you is, why do you presume innocence on behalf of Mr. Tejpal? And why do you presume that this girl has indulged? In that case, sir, my request to you is, since you are not a part of the law enforcement agency,
ma'am, I have not.
I hope I'm correct.
Ma'am, right from the beginning, I've been saying there's an FIR that's been filed. Let the inquiry happen. All I'm saying is that we are trying to hang a person or malign a victim for no reason.
Let me highlight one aspect to you, sir.
No.
Since you hold Mr. Tarun Tejpal and Shoma in such high regards, the question that you need to ask yourself tonight is that why did the Goa police need to take suo motu cognizance of this issue? And why did not Shoma Chaudhary go ahead and file an FIR?
Absolutely, absolutely. That is the question.
Again, this is something that you have to ask. Unfortunately, I'm not part of Tehelka or party to their
Mr. Roy doesn't know. Mr. Roy, you don't know. Mr. Roy, you don't know that there is no question of now this FIR cannot be, this whole investigation has been misled because Tehelka is not cooperating. They are not responding to the Goa police. They are still considering it as an internal matter.
I think, ma'am, I think this is conjecture again. I think again this is conjecture that they're not responding to
No, it is not conjecture.
It's a fact.
And I think over the next few days.
It is a fact.
No, you either respond when you have to, or you respond when you are forced to.
I can't hear you. There are too many voices.
One second, Smriti Irani.
Sir, this is not conjecture. Mrs. Ranjana Kumari, I don't think is making up the fact that Tehelka is not cooperating.
Certainly not.
It is an official tweet from Tehelka stating that Shoma Chaudhary's statement is, I will not cooperate with Goa police. Kindly go and check that.
And Smriti, I find it baffling here, and I want to bounce this off Swapan Dasgupta, that here is Shoma Chaudhary, who talks at length about sexual violence, who says, I speak about this gender rights, sexual violence. She doesn't know that the Supreme Court, Swapan Dasgupta, has ruled out compromise in rape cases. This is a case of attempted rape.
Arnab, who says, when Sanjoy says that she did the right thing, I'm astonished. I do not believe for a moment that Shoma did not know the law. Shoma, having covered these women's issues for such a long time, is fully aware of it. I think what is being done is an act of complete cynical premeditation, which is there that you first try and destroy the reputation of the person who has made of the girl who has made these complaints, and number two, this non-cooperation with the Goa police is an attempt therefore to say we will politicize the affair, we will try to say that we are the victims of a political witch hunt, and that is precisely what they are going to do next. And this, to my mind, is a calculated, cynical strategy aimed at diverting attention from the real offense and their role in covering up this whole offense.
Well, completely. I don't know what Sanjoy Roy you're talking about. Not going to the law is doing the right thing. Playing it down is doing the right thing. Calling an act of rape an untoward incident is doing the right thing. A lapse of reason, underplaying it like that is doing a right thing. And now trying to character assassinate the victim by hinting that there is another story which you suddenly stumble upon, Mr. Sanjoy Roy, that's also doing the right thing. I mean, I think this is, it's either you are blinded completely by your personal friendship with the people involved, Mr. Sanjoy Roy, or you have made up your mind that you will not be open to the facts which are emerging in this case.
Arnab, the facts are very clear. Again, I say an FIR has been filed. Let the process of law go forward. All I'm saying is that this particular jury that's sitting on Times Now seems to have already come to a decision, as they've done in many cases. And as they've done in many cases,
I take objection to that, and I take objection to every person. Every person who, when asked a straight and direct question,
I have objection to it.
Well, fine, Mister. You may have as many objections as you want. But to say that somebody does not know the law, can go and character assassinate someone, cannot respond to an allegation, Mr. Sanjoy Roy. Mr. Sanjoy Roy.
You have tried to say that I've said XYZ thing. I haven't.
Well, Mr. Sanjoy Roy, I thought Tarun Tejpal resigned after apologizing for doing something wrong. You make a case out here that if the law is to be pursued, then you'll first try and behave like martyrs. You'll try and say, what right does the media have to ask a question?
And I think
this is the most ridiculous argument in all. The most ridiculous argument in all of this is to say, is the media a victim? And the media asks questions all the time. The media asks questions only when its own interests are involved. Mr. Sanjoy Roy, I mean, this duality, this hypocrisy in this case is completely shocking.
Arnab, I haven't heard Tarun saying that. So if you're saying
we haven't even heard Tarun. You know what? We haven't even heard Tarun.
At least I haven't
heard Tarun. We haven't even heard Tarun. He's hiding in this case.
And we haven't
Bachi Karkaria is coming back to the debate. Ranjana Kumari, please. Ranjana Kumari.
Self-innocent.
So let's ensure that both Tarun and the victim are given a hearing outside of the media. Through the law, not because of us.
If this case had not come before the media, I don't think...
I'm not a judge.
Ranjana Kumari.
No, listen. Yes, where is he hiding? If he is innocent, now the onus of proof of innocence is on him. He has to come out and say, look, whatever is being reported, instead of saying different version, the version which is the version of this young girl, young journalist, is the version. That's what the whole basis of FIR, and the version has been proved by whatever evidence Goa police has collected. Otherwise, there was no question of any FIR.
Ma'am, you've already decided the
why
version
doesn't
is
he come
proved.
out?
That's
why
fantastic.
No,
I didn't realize that there was a trial and a hearing.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, I find this kind of thing extremely problematic in our country. That we continue
all
in the media all the time to bring up a
Sanjoy Roy.
Mr. Roy, that I am actually shouting on a channel like this because I've realized that by trying to
what do you mean? What do you mean channel like this, Mr. Roy? What do you mean channel like this? This channel is asking the questions and you have a problem with a channel like this. You will have no problems with a channel that gives you a platform. But a channel that asks you direct questions, you'll call it a channel like this. Now let me tell you this directly, Mr. Sanjoy Roy, and it's time for you to hear a little bit now on the other side. The fact is, had the leaks never happened, had the girl's version never come out, all would have happened is Tarun Tejpal stepping down for a lapse of judgment during an untoward incident. Yes. Now you know this is not a lapse of judgment or an untoward incident.
Said it
this is attempted rape. And the charge is that of attempted rape. You want to call a charge of attempted rape a lapse of judgment during an untoward incident?
This is rape.
That's all I'm saying.
And
if it is proved to be this, let the law take its course.
The new law defines rape
What are we
differently.
The
new law defines rape differently. According to the new law, this is rape.
When we are asking the question, when we are asking the question, when we are asking the question,
I want to correct.
I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. I'm not the investigator.
That's an old dialogue, Sanjoy.
I can only tell you what
that's an old dialogue, Sanjay. I think Bachi wants to also come into
it's not an old dialogue.
1 second, please. Bachi, it is a very old dialogue, Bachi.
I think at the end of the day,
let me just make a factual correction.
Each one of us has to...
Bachi, give me a minute. I want to make a factual correction.
And that uphold the right of law is not about us. It's about the law.
But that's what they didn't do.
Take its course.
You had a choice.
And if he's...
You ran away from the law.
And if he's proved guilty, hang him or do whatever he has to do.
No, please.
Why are we presuming guilt? Why are we presuming that all of this has happened? There are two different sides of the story.
Sanjoy Roy, please remember this, that Tarun Tejpal is not just another employee. Given what has transpired, there is a detailed discussion about whether there should be a criminal investigation. And some people are saying this should, since the charges of attempted rape, reading of the email says attempted rape, then you should have an inquiry outside of the purview of your internal inquiry, and you can have 100%. The two parallel processes. You can have a criminal investigation 100%. And you can have a 1 minute. An internal investigation is not a substitute from a criminal investigation in a case of attempted rape. Okay, it's not an innuendo. It's not an innuendo. It's nothing. It's a charge of attempted rape. So let's take it a little more seriously than that. Bachi is responding. Bachi, please. Bachi.
No, I'm not responding, Arnab. I mean, everything that has come out on this channel is extremely important. We've established several factors which are extremely, extremely important. There are just 2 points that I want to raise over here in the context of 2 statements that came up in the course of this discussion, and that is that will what has happened with Tehelka deter another young woman from coming up with charges against a powerful editor? The answer is a clear no. Because what has been happening in this particular case, especially what has been happening in a lot of the sexual molestation, assault, rape cases, what we heard with the Supreme Court, the intern and the Supreme Court judge, I mean, I think this is the most gratifying fact, that women are coming up and speaking without fear of people in authority. The second point, Arnab, please let me make this, is that, you know, when Swapan mentioned and said that, you know, they politicized it, I'm not interested in who politicized it.
Who cares about politicizing? I'm not even interested in that.
I want to be very clear that both these cases, the Snoopgate and this, should not be politicized. They are very, very important, crucial, significant cases as far as women are concerned, and to politicize it is to insult them.
Well, you know, Bachi Karkaria, we stay focused. We said, and the precedent is this, that when you're, Sanjay, please listen to this. The precedent is this, that when there is a charge of attempted rape and you have details of it given to you, you can immediately go to the law. When you don't go to the law, you will be asked questions. when you will be asked questions, you cannot pretend to be hurt or angry, self-righteous or sanctimonious, and then ask the media, are you the aggrieved party? I think that was terrible. I think the way they've handled it is questionable, and I think asking the questions is very necessary, and they will be asked. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on debate number 1 on the News Hour tonight.